Okay, for this video we're going to add two collections, which could be written as a number sentence, which would be 7, and we're going to add 6. Okay, so let's pretend that they're chocolates. So we've got 7 chocolates over here and 6 chocolates over here. And I would always encourage the children to start with the bigger collection, the bigger amount, which would be the 7, and then count on, which they've learnt to do in reception, in ones from 7. But the thing with doing this today is we're going to make sure we do it in a really systematic way, using a number line, using these 10 units as well, to show exactly what it means to count, to add on, and how we cross over a multiple of 10 and still understand it. So we know that when we add, you and I as adults know that when we add 7 and 6 it's going to come to more than 10, and children sometimes find that difficult. So hopefully this will help to visualize it and understand it. So I would do is encourage them to line them up vertically in a roughly a sort of a line, so that when they then exchange this for this, it's a bit clearer. So I'm going to put the 7 over here, and I'm going to say, right, we're going to add the 6, so we're going to count on from 7. So I'm going to make a little mark on my number line at the same time, which is just a circle, to show where we're starting from. And remember to talk about the fact that we're starting from 7 because we have the 7 chocolates already. We're not starting from 0 because we don't have nothing. We have 7. We have 7 chocolates already. So we're starting from this point here, the 7. Okay? And then we're going to count on from there to see how many we have all together. And that's going to be the sum of the two amounts or collections. So let's count on from 7, and as we do this we're going to push our finger with the object underneath and put it above, but we're not going to join it on to this line. We're going to leave a little bit of a gap, and I'll explain why in a minute. So from 7 we're going to go 8, and we're going to say 9, and then we're going to have 10. Now when we get to 10 we're going to stop, and we're going to see how many we added just to get to 10, and we've added 3 there. So we're going to make a jump of 3, because 10 is a very important whole place, a very important stop-off point. So we're going to say that we've added 3, and I'll zoom in just to show you how that looks on the number line, plus 3 to get there. And notice that there is a gap, so I can clearly see how many I've added. If I hadn't left that gap, it would be hard to see how many there were that I've added, but I can see that there's 3 I've added. Now I've got to 10, I can actually exchange all these little units for one of these. As you can see, it's the same size, it's the same amount, they're just joined together so it's easier to use, and it quite clearly represents this as a 10, which is our number system. It uses 10s. So now that I've got 10, I can keep counting on from 10 with the remainder that I have to add on still. So I've got 11, and I put that down here underneath, so I can, and this is again why I said we line them upwards. 12, vertically, sorry, and 13. So it's very clear from that that the total is 10 and 3, which is 13. I know that I've also added 3 more to get there, so I can do a jump of 3 to get to 13. If they had to do that in ones, 2, 3, that's okay. If they can do it in possibly in a jump of 3 to get to that, then that's better, because then they can clearly see that they have added 3 and 3, which makes 6 altogether. So instead of adding it as a jump of 6, they've added it in jumps of 3, which is what we're going for when they're adding bigger numbers and we're crossing over multiples of 10. You want to be partitioning the smaller amount into simpler chunks, so 3 and 3 is easier to add than one jump of 6. Okay, and it uses the 10 as a sort of a point to stop at, a pit stop if you like. So we know that the total is 13, so the sum of those two chocolate collections is 13, and we got there by jumping in a jump of 3 and a jump of 3. And we did it using the objects at the same time and exchanging all those little ones units for one of these so that we can quite clearly and easily see that the sum is 13. So their way, that doing all of this has helped them to visualize and have a visual model in their head of what they did when they added 6, okay, and how they actually made a 10 and then another 3 to get the total. I'll go through it in another video with more examples, and you can follow along with those to get more practice, but I think it's really beneficial to use this as alongside the number line to help with it.